In this video, we will discuss the current UK fiancé visa timeline and process in 2023 to 2024. We will do this by splitting the process into 10 simple steps. As an OISC-regulated UK immigration law firm specialising in UK partner visas, we are very well placed to discuss this. Let's begin with a quick fiancé visa overview and clarify what we mean when we say UK fiancé visa. This is important because technically there is no such thing as a UK fiancé visa application in the immigration rules. Rather, when we say UK fiancé visa, we are technically referring to an application for entry clearance as a fiancé under Appendix FM of the immigration rules. This visa will be valid for 6 months. It will allow the applicant, the non-UK partner that will need the visa to enter the UK and marry. It will not permit the applicant to work in the UK. Rather, the first time that they will be able to work will be once they've been granted the next partner visa application as a married partner, and it will allow the applicant to extend their fiancé visa in the UK. They will not have to return to their home country. And this is the main difference to a marriage visitor visa, which is also a 6-month visa, but is a visa in which the applicant will be required to leave the UK before the 6-month visa expires. And this is because technically, marriage visitor visas are for applicants who do not intend to settle in the UK permanently. And also, it's worth noting here that when we say UK fiancé visa, we will also be referring to what is known as a proposed civil partnership visa, as the UK proposed civil partnership visa and requirements are identical in everything but name. Step 1 of the process is to learn the fiancé visa requirements and gather the relevant documents. To avoid any complications or issues, you should learn the requirements before you apply. And this is because the requirements must be met when the online application is submitted, as shown in the documentation that you submit. The fiancé visa requirements and document-specific requirements are rather extensive, and this will likely take you longer than you would initially expect, depending on the materials that you use. Furthermore, due to how the immigration rules are worded, some partners may be forced to wait many months until they can satisfy the requirements. This, of course, depends on you and your partner's specific circumstances. For more information about the fiancé visa requirements that you will need to know, you may decide to watch our separate fiancé visa requirements YouTube video or visit our website www.migrate.org.uk. Step 2. Start completing the online application form. The UK fiancé visa application form can be found by googling Apply Partner Visa Gov UK. You should then see this listing here, which says Family Visas, Apply, Extend or Switch. Check that you're forwarded to the Apply as a Partner or Spouse page here. You should then scroll down to the How to Apply subheading and click the link Apply Online from Outside the UK here. The fiancé visa application form is the same one that is used by partners who are applying as a married, civil or unmarried partner. It should know that you intend to apply for a fiancé visa based on the answers that you input. Now will be a good time to introduce you very briefly to the TLS and VFS websites, as some partners are often initially confused about the role that they play in the fiancé visa application. You will never complete the online application form on the TLS or VFS websites. Rather, you'll be sent to one of these websites after you've submitted the online application we've just discussed. VFS and TLS primarily deal with the visa centre appointment, the submission of the documents, and the purchasing of other added value services, such as the Keep My Passport service. We will discuss VFS and TLS later on in this video once we reach that stage. Since this video focuses on the fiancé visa timeline and process, let's answer the question, what will be the start date of the fiancé visa? Well, the online application form will ask you for the date you plan to arrive in the UK. If this date is after the application is granted, the start date of the 6-month fiancé visa will normally be the date that you listed here. If, however, this date is before the application is granted, the start date of the 6-month visa will normally be on or around the date of the decision. So if you've made no specific plans but would rather the fiancé visa application is granted as soon as possible, feel free to list a date a week or 2 after submitting the online application. Depending on the size of your screen, you may be able to see that the online application form here states, after your application has been approved, you will have 30 days to arrange travel to the UK. This is not correct. As we'll discuss later, you'll be issued a 6-month visa, and the applicant can first enter the UK at any time during the validity of that 6-month visa. For more information about the fiancé visa application form, we have written an article on our website which discusses 25 plus things which you should know before submitting the application, and it addresses a lot of the frequently asked questions partners have regarding the online application form. Step 3. Submit the application. The online application should only be submitted when you have ensured 1. That the correct application form has been completed correctly, and 2. That you have gathered the required immigration immigration rules compliant documentation. Importantly, the application is submitted by paying the Home Office fees on this part of the online application website. Here you can see the option of a standard service priced at approximately £1,538. As we discussed in our Fiance Visa article on our website, the Fiance Visa fee is very rarely paid in British pounds, so the amount that you will have to pay will vary depending on the exchange rate the application form uses. A standard service Fiance Visa application will take approximately 3 months to process. The processing time does change from time to time, and we keep our Fiance Visa processing time article on our website up to date in accordance with the many Fiance Visa clients that we help every day of the week. It is sometimes the case that the priority service fee will be listed here as being available. If the priority service is not listed on this page, if it is available, it can then be purchased on the VFS or TLS website. When available, the priority service will reduce the expected processing time to 30 days for an additional £573. And as we'll discuss later in this video, whether you'll be sent to the VFS or TLS website depends on the country the applicant is applying from. The application is submitted when you pay the fee on this online application form payment page. This is called the date of application in the immigration rules. Importantly, it is this date, the date of application, that the requirements must be met. The Fiance Visa application will not require payment of the immigration health surcharge, but please note that the IHS will need to be paid in the next application, as we discuss in our Fiance Visa fees article and YouTube video. Step 4. Book the Visa Centre appointment. You'll be redirected to the TLS or VFS website to book the Visa Centre appointment after paying the Home Office fee. The availability of Visa Centre appointments are subject to supply and demand, which varies from Visa Centre to Visa Centre. Partners can, however, usually arrange an appointment within a few days of submitting the application. TLS and VFS are commercial partners used by the Home Office to help facilitate the Fiance Visa application, particularly in relation to the Visa Centre appointment and the submission of documents. As we will discuss later, they should not impact the decision making of the Fiance Visa application. TLS and VFS handle applications from different parts of the world. Whether you'll be forwarded to the TLS or VFS website depends on the country the application is being submitted from. On this point, it's worth noting that if, as is commonly the case, the sponsor, the UK partner, helps complete the application form on the applicant's behalf, this does not mean that the application is being submitted from inside the UK, assuming that's where the sponsor is. Rather, the country that the application is being submitted from will be the country the applicant resides in when the online application is submitted. Booking the visa appointment several weeks after submitting the online application form is normally fine. Step 5. Submit the Fiance Visa supporting documents. There are numerous ways to submit supporting documents, which can vary depending on the country the application is being submitted from. In nearly all instances, however, we now generally recommend self-uploading the supporting documentation. Whilst the self-upload portal is by no means perfect, and we know this because we upload documents on behalf of our clients every day of the week, partners who do not engage an immigration lawyer to help with their application tend to face the least number of issues if they choose to self-upload the documentation. And there's also the added benefit of not having to pay the additional fees associated with submitting the documents via another method. The self-upload portal is hosted on the TLS and VFS websites, not the gov.uk online application form. Other document submitting procedures include 1. In limited circumstances, posting copies of the supporting documents to a specified address in the UK, and 2. Submitting copies of the supporting documents at a visa centre. Except for the applicant's passport, you can submit paper or digital copies of the supporting documents. Original documents are not required. This has not always been the case, but importantly, this will mean that you will not risk losing important documents as part of the document submitting process. Finally, you should only submit documents via one document submitting procedure. If you submit some documents via one method and other documents via another method, you run a heightened risk that the Home Office may not receive all of the supporting documents. Step 6. Attend the Visa Centre appointment. The Visa Centre appointment will occur at the Overseas Visa Centre chosen during the online application process. This step understandably causes some partners some anxiety due to not knowing what to expect. Fortunately, Unfortunately, visa centre appointments for the most part are very uneventful, and this is because the staff at the visa centres should not impact the decision making of the application. Rather, they're there for administrative purposes only. They assist the Home Office with the visa centre appointment process, the taking of the biometric data, which essentially involves recording the applicant's fingerprints and taking the applicant's photo, and if you choose to purchase the optional document scanning service, they will help you with that. Despite what you may initially assume, neither the applicant nor the sponsor will be interviewed at the visa centre. And if you're wondering, the sponsor is not expected to attend the visa centre. Only a very small percentage of partners are interviewed as part of the partner visa process. Where interviews are requested, which will normally be done over the phone, the interview will normally focus on the applicant and sponsor's relationship. And finally, I'll note that the part of the application process after attending the visa centre appointment can be different for applications made from the US than everywhere else in the world. And because of this, what is most important is that you follow the instructions issued to you once the Home Office fees have been paid on the online application form, especially because the process for applications made from the US is something that's continually developing. Step 7. Wait for the decision. As previously mentioned, UK Fiance visas are currently taking 3 months on average for standard non-priority applications and 30 days for priority applications. The processing time will normally start when the applicant attends the visa centre appointment. For more information about the Fiance visa processing time, we will release a separate video discussing this. And you may also be interested in our Fiance visa processing time article, which we update on the first or second day of each month on our website, www.migrate.org.uk. At some point, you will likely receive an email like this email here. If it is VFS that deals with your application, the email will contain a VFS link rather than a TLS link. The date that you receive this email does not indicate when you should expect to receive a decision, as this email is sent out very sporadically. Just because you received it 2 months after attending the visa centre appointment does not mean that the processing time will start when you receive this email. Furthermore, the words "please ensure that your supporting documents are submitted within 5 working days of this email" cause some partners anxiety. If you have already submitted the supporting documentation, there is nothing further that you need to do. Once the application has been submitted, it is a rather grueling waiting game for most partners. Unfortunately, as lovely as it would be, you normally cannot contact the Home Office for an update. Where a required document has not been provided, the application may be refused, or the Home Office may email you requesting the missing document or documents. Step 8. The decision. Once a decision is made, you will normally receive an email. This email will either request the passport to be collected, or it will notify you that the courier will send the passport. Partners who opted for the Keep My Passport service, on the other hand, will normally receive an email requesting that the applicant's passport be returned. Assuming that the Fiance visa application is granted, you will not receive a decision letter. You will also not receive a BRP for the Fiance visa, which can be thought of as a plastic visa card, an example of which can be found here. Rather, you will receive a 6-month Fiance visa vignette, which is like a sticker in the passport. Step 9. Entering the UK. The UK Fiance visa will be a multiple entry 6-month visa. This means that the applicant can enter, leave the UK and re-enter the UK at any time during this 6-month period, even after you've both married. The exception here is if you've already submitted the FLRM application after entering the UK and are waiting to hear back on the FLRM application. We will touch on the FLRM application shortly, but before we do, it's worth noting the following. You will not need to purchase a return flight. If required in the first place, the TB test does not need to be valid on entering the UK. Whilst you can first enter the UK at any point during the 6-month visa, you should enter as early as is reasonably possible. This is because you will need to give yourselves enough time to give notice at the local registry office, get married, and then prepare for the subsequent FLRM application. Generally speaking, entering the UK within the first 2 or 3 months of the 6-month visa normally gives partners enough time. But if the applicant enters after this period, unexpected delays with giving notice, getting married, or general life events can make the timeline uncomfortably tight. Step 10. The FLRM visa. The FLRM visa application is the next application that you'll be expected to submit after the Fiance visa application. The application should be submitted after marrying, but before the 6-month Fiance visa expires. There are no other time constraints regarding submitting this application. As long as the requirements are met and you have all of the required documentation that complies with the immigration rules, if you marry, for example, on week 4 of the Fiance visa, nothing will stop you from submitting on week 5. Partners may choose to submit the FLRM application as soon as possible after marrying for a variety of reasons, including 1. Submitting the FLRM application will lock in the date that the requirements must be met. For example, this will prevent a future unexpected job loss from preventing you from satisfying the financial requirement. 2. Since the FLRM application will require payment of the immigration health surcharge, submitting the FLRM application will allow earlier access to the UK's National Health Service. 3. The required 5 years qualifying period for indefinite leave to remain will be obtained quicker, and this is because time spent in the UK on a fiancé visa does not count towards the required 5-year period for indefinite leave to remain. And 4, the FLRM visa will permit the applicant to work in the UK. The latest that you can submit the FLRM application is the expiry date specified on the 6-month fiancé visa vignette, although we would not normally recommend leaving the submission until that late. Some partners wrongly assume that they must apply at least 6 to 8 weeks before the fiancé visa's expiry date because of the FLRM application's 6 to 8 weeks processing time. However, as we discussed on the articles on our website, as long as you apply before the fiancé visa expires, the fiancé visa will be automatically extended until a decision has been made on the FLRM application, or until you withdraw the FLRM application for whatever reason. So there should be no fears of overstaying. Finally, it should be noted that when the FLRM application is submitted, the applicant should not leave the UK when the application is processing, as this technically withdraws the application. So you should plan accordingly. You may want to opt for the super priority service if you plan on the applicant travelling outside the UK shortly after submitting the FLRM application. So that is the general fiancé visa timeline and process. If you found this video helpful and would like us to make more videos, you can let us know by liking the video, by subscribing, and by leaving a comment in the YouTube comments box. And if you want more helpful information about fiancé and partner visas, you may choose to look at our website migrate.org.uk, which has more than 40 free detailed articles and step-by-step guides on fiancé and partner visas.